Hi everybody, I'm Tim Bulott and welcome to Weaponsacademy.com. An active shooter may take weeks, months, or even years to plan, rehearse, and train for their sick act of violence. How does your training measure up? Hang in there with us, we're going to talk about it.
Hi, I'm Cecil Woods, and welcome to Weaponsacademy.com. Tim Bulott is a well-known and respected name in the law enforcement and defense communities. As a highly decorated SWAT operator and team lead, his insight and expertise on the subject of active shooter is second to none. His direct experience has led him and his team to create a real-world active shooter course like no other. The 3-day course will educate and equip students with the skills and abilities necessary to engage and ultimately neutralize the shooter. So Tim, in your own words, just give us a brief overview of your experience and your career.
I appreciate that introduction there, Cecil. So as of this year, I'm pushing 41 years in law enforcement. I started in 1982. During that 41 years, 9 of those years were spent overseas, exposing me to threats, violence, and situations that go a little bit beyond what currently we have here in the U.S. And during that time, I think that the vast amount of emergency responses that I have attended to has given me a pretty well-rounded knowledge base and something I can give back to the community and those who are involved or may encounter an active shooter. Absolutely.
So what motivated you to develop this course?
Well, the law enforcement model as I was leading into there is currently 16 hours. So state of Texas, for instance, every law enforcement officer now since Uvalde must complete 16 hours of active shooter training, okay? And there's a couple things leading into that, all right? But being very familiar with that course, first of all, the 16 hours wasn't enough, okay? So I felt the need to go above and beyond that. And then again, looking at what is currently out there, we have a lot of these, what I call them alphabet courses and seminars, okay, that are just 4 hours, 6 hours, and even 8 hours in length. And they may put out some good information on developing your security teams, be it in a church or a business or just for the citizens, and some basic ideas of what to do, but none of them address the actual situation, okay? Here I am, I'm confronted with the situation, for instance, somebody on a church security detail, okay? There's not a lot out there to actually teach them what they need to do in the moment and how to stop that threat.
Great points, great points. So why 3 days?
Well, as I said, the current law enforcement model is 16 hours, okay? And these are trained officers, and being familiar with that, what I saw was just a brief overview in the classroom, a handful of practical exercises that were, in my opinion, I felt rushed, where they didn't have enough hands-on to actually develop those, and then no live firearms training whatsoever. It's all done with simunitions, and so you've got, in some cases, you've got individuals who may not even have well-developed firearm skills, and here they are training to put down a shooter with a simunitions pistol or a UTM airsoft, whatever they're using, and it just became more of a game, I thought, than an actual exercise. And I had an issue with that. And some of the instructors teaching that law enforcement model aren't even firearms instructors themselves. So I wanted to take that, be it a good base, and take it to the next level where we could put the student in that environment, give them the hands-on fundamentals to build them up to where they're proficient with the tools that they're going to be using, and then put them in some real-world situations all the way through to after we put the shooter down, then what's next, okay? Then we got to try to save as many lives as possible, okay? So instead of just showing them, okay, here's how you do wound compression, or here's how you apply a tourniquet, we're going to actually have them do that in that stressful environment to try to give them the tools and the opportunity to experience as close to realism as possible.
So that sounds like that's the major differentiator from your course as opposed to all the others that are out there.
Your tools, your weapon, hands-on training first, leading into actual scenarios on dealing with active threats, live fire. Of course, it's very well supervised, okay? And then the aftermath, okay? You know, at what point in time do we need to transition into a life-saving mode and apply those tactical first aid skills to save as many lives as possible, all the way up to linking up with the police when they get on scene, because it won't do any good to put the shooter down and then just get into a friendly on friendly situation with the law enforcement officers because properly procedures weren't followed as the police arrived on the scene, because you got to think about what mode they're going to be in when they get there as well.
So who did you design this for? Who's your target audience?
Well, the target audience, it's varying, and if we look at what's going on in the world today, right now today, in Texas, every school has to have armed security now, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so what is that going to do? That's going to, in my opinion, that is going to shift the target environment maybe to where some of these would-be shooters, these criminals, instead of focusing on a school where they know there's an armed security officer there, they may shift their focus more on commercial businesses, and then even churches may become more of a target opportunity because of the vulnerability. Now, you combine that with open borders, okay, and then current situations in the Middle East. I mean, we are sitting in a very volatile environment right now for, active shooting, and that would parallel with terrorist attacks. Also, if we look at what's happened in the past with Paris and Mumbai, all those things are linked, okay? And the training encompasses tools, techniques, and skills to deal with it, be it just an active shooter with mental issues or an actual active terrorist attack where someone is actively killing in a business or out on the street or attacking a church or a school or things of that nature.
So that's good stuff. That's real good stuff. So what's the takeaway from the students if they take the course? What are they leaving with?
Okay, so we're not only going to get into rules, procedures, and recommendations for your security detail, say if you are on a church security detail, okay? We're also going to look at the psychology of these active shooters and lessons learned from events in the past. Every one of these active shooting situations, especially the large ones, there's a lot of takeaways from that we can learn from so we can prevent certain things from occurring again and to help us saving lives, okay? A higher skill level with your weapon, okay? Whether you're on a security detail and you're carrying a handgun or whether you have access to a rifle, higher level of skill with that, okay? Hands-on, live fire shooting in our shoot house, and there's some of that in every day of the course, okay? Low light, every day of the course. Low light, nocturnal, shooting in darkness, okay, because there's no guarantee this is going to happen in broad daylight. Live, hands-on, actual realistic training on how to pack wounds, how to apply a tourniquet, okay, how to save lives, during and after the situation, and then leading up to what do we do now to link up with the law enforcement officer so that we don't get engaged by them as a security detail or as a private citizen, okay? So it's, and there's more than that to it, Cecil. But that's just basically some of the highlights, some of the high points of the course and the training.
So Tim, I'm a potential student. I love it. I want to know more. How are you promoting it? How do I sign up? Where do we go?
Well, the best is for people to go to weaponsacademy.com. look at the information there, read it, and then, email information is there. My phone number is there, and I'm easy to contact. Or you can send an email, text, whatever, and we'll get back and get that information out to you.
So if I'm a newbie, right? If I've never done anything like this before, do I need any prior training? Is there anything prerequisites that a potential student needs before they come and sign up for a course like this?
So we recommend that at a minimum, they've had our TAC pistol first progression class or an equivalent. So there's a lot of schools out there that teach quality handgun work, and we recognize that, and we'll take that from a quality school. But the course is not designed for first-time shooters. Okay, so these are people that have a good baseline that we can build on already, because we will be working up into advanced tactics, working in groups of 2s, 3s, and possibly even 4s, depending on the flow of the class. Most of your security individuals that have a state license through DPS, they qualify with a 50-round course, and a lot of them, that's the only training that they've taken up to that point. But we need to go a little bit above that and beyond that, and with this course, we're definitely hoping to do that.
Absolutely. So once a student completes this course, are there other classes that they should take with the Strategic Weapons Academy of Texas that would help them continue to build their proficiency?
Sure, and like I was saying, the law enforcement model is currently 16 hours per 2-year training cycle that they have to take active shooter training. Okay, and it is a specific course, okay? So, for instance, if you're on a church security detail or a corporate security detail, what we recommend is that you take this course, and then every year we have a 10-hour cut-down version of this course that will come back and refresh those, okay? In the meantime, all right, room entry tactics, all right, vehicle skills and tactics, okay, all your basic, intermediate, and advanced weapon skills, okay? We have 2 levels of tactical first aid and emergency care. Those are all other options to just keep building upon your tactical toolbox to give you the tools that you need to deal with the situations that we're seeing today.
Well, Tim, I'll tell you this. Thank you for sitting down with me. This seems like it's going to be an amazing 3-day active shooter course. Potential students would gain a wealth of knowledge from this, especially in our day and time right now and the things that we're engaging in. So I just thank you for sitting down with me. I thank you for opening up and actually creating this course for people that need to be more prepared for what they may face in the future.
Absolutely. 3 days, 30 hours. It's going to be intense, but then again, our job is to give them what they need to handle the task.
Outstanding. Well, thank you guys for joining us. If you want more information, please visit weaponsacademy.com.